Hey guys, welcome back to season 2 of J&M Sports Talk, preseason edition.
Yep.
We are thrilled to be back and talking football. This is an ACC preview show, so we're going to be covering the ACC. Jonathan, let's start out. So, players to watch 2018
Yep.
ACC.
One definitely is going to be Ryan Finley, quarterback at NC State. You know, he's coming back for another year, and we know exactly what he's going to be doing, but I'm expecting greater things from him. It seemed like right at the end of the year, he's starting to turn into an elite quarterback. So I'm really looking forward to see how he progressed this offseason, getting ready to hopefully earn some money for the pros.
Right. Yeah, a guy that performed well last year leading up to, unfortunately, a concussion in the Syracuse game. But Kelly Bryant, senior quarterback from Clemson, as he goes, I think the Clemson team will go.
For sure.
There is a quarterback competition, though. Make no mistake about it, in Clemson. Trevor Lawrence, true freshman, he's 6'5", 205. He's an amazing athlete. A lot of Clemson fans that I've talked to have said that he could possibly overtake Kelly Bryant. And if he doesn't pass better, could happen early on.
Yeah, it always starts with, let's give him a little package, and then things just tend to roll away from the starter. So, yeah, that'd be definitely something to watch for sure. Another guy, I don't think Pitt, they're going to have a great year, but quarterback Kenny Pickett for Pitt. He's another one that I think he's going to be a definite bright spot for Pitt in the ACC. He's a very good passer and runner. So to see him improving throughout the year, I think will be a good spot for Pitt. So that'd be a great guy to watch out for.
Yeah, for sure. Lesser known guy for me would be Jaquan Johnson. He won multiple Defensive Player of the Week awards for us last year, the Miami safety, and he's really the leader of the Miami defense. So he had 4 interceptions last year. The Miami U defensive chain gang or whatever. He also had almost 100 tackles. So I look for him to be a leader this year. I think you'll see much of the same thing, and he could be a first-round draft pick.
Yeah, he definitely probably will be. And just the fact that he's got the U on his helmet will probably help him on that one. But, yep. So now that, we talked about some players to watch. How about some games?
Games to watch. Well, the season starts out with a bang, really.
Yeah.
You got LSU and Miami. Huge showdown in Dallas, neutral site game. That'll be a fun one for sure. Yeah. And then you've got also the first week, the Monday night game is who do we have there? It's Virginia Tech and FSU.
Oh yeah, right away.
Which that's a hard matchup because you're starting out in conference play, game 1. So
no chance to get everything settled with an easy gimme game week 1. Yeah, some of these teams are now coming out swinging against big hitters. So that's what I'm looking forward to. So those are 2 great games for week 1. There's several big games that we'll talk about in other videos. That whole weekend's going to be awesome. But a game right at the end of the year that I'm really looking forward to is Virginia Tech and Miami. I would say we'll talk later about these teams in more in depth, but I really think both of them are fighting for that top spot. And the winner of that game probably will be playing Clemson, we think, in that championship game. So that's another big one to bring up for that. To watch.
Yeah, I can't wait for that game. And really, we'll get into this a little bit in a second, but Clemson, really, I mean, we view them as in the Atlantic Division. They're not really going to struggle, we don't think. But they do have a stretch of 2 straight weeks where they play NC State at home, and then they have to go to FSU. Now, FSU, they're kind of a wild card, new coach, new system, that sort of thing. But just those 2 games back to back, and then especially playing FSU at Doak Campbell, I mean, that's a tough place to play.
For sure. And then you can't forget about the end of the season, they got their non-conference with South Carolina, who, if no one knows, I'm pretty high on.
He's got a man crush on South Carolina.
Just this year, I think. After this year, I think I'll be down on them again. But
check the tape from last year. So, lots of good games. We're really looking forward to some of those matchups. And we'll see how it all plays out. All right, next let's move on to kind of a forecast for the divisions, both the Atlantic and the Coastal. So let's start with the Atlantic division.
All right, yeah, this one's a little straightforward. We talked about Clemson already. They've got a pretty manageable schedule, we'll say. I have them sitting at 11-1, and the only one I had was that South Carolina game.
Okay.
And that's even not going to really affect the ACC at all. So,
right.
But teams I would say right after them to look out for this year is I really like Syracuse and NC State. I think both of them have some good schedules to work with, and they're both returning quarterbacks with plenty of experience, and also a good, strong defense returning as well. So I like them doing well this year. I've got Syracuse finishing at 9-3, and NC State right behind them at 8-4. And that was really a toss-up between the game they play each other, and I gave the nod to Syracuse because they play there. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that goes this year.
I'm very similar to Jonathan on that. I think Syracuse and NC State, I've got them both going 9-3, having great seasons. Clemson, I've actually got them undefeated, especially in ACC play. I don't think they're going to struggle. Other than the quarterback thing, I think the biggest thing for Clemson is they're going to compete with themselves and battle against themselves. Now, for our fans out there, we've got several Florida State fans that watch the show. Our outlook on their season is just because of a new coach, new system, that could go really well. We acknowledge that. But in reality, just preseason, looking at their schedule, we think it's probably going to be 7-5, 6-6.
Yeah, and then plus, we really don't know about Francois, if he's going to be starting and be in the season. If he is, great for them. How well is he going to know the system and not played for over a year? As well as just they're going to be playing musical quarterback, I feel, throughout the year. I have them at 6-6. I think they're going to struggle early on, and then they'll probably win some games late in the year that they shouldn't. But as I say, with them, they've got too many questions, and they're replacing a lot too. I mean, their biggest challenge defensively, even though I think their defense is going to be really good, is they have to replace Derwin James. Might have been one of the best defenders in the country last year. So they've got a lot of big shoes to fill there as well. So I'm sure they'll have some moments of joy, I'm sure, but I'm just not sure where they'll be.
No doubt, we're both in agreement. They're one of the more talented teams in the ACC.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's move on to the Coastal Division. Okay. So how do you see that one shaking out?
Yeah, this one, we kind of already mentioned it. I really have Virginia Tech and Miami both having pretty manageable schedules as well. I have Virginia Tech winning that matchup at the end of the year, so I have them at 12-0, and then I have Miami sitting just by them at 11-1. I think both of these teams are probably two of the better teams in the conference as well, and it's really just coming down to where that game's being played is why I gave the nod to Virginia Tech in that one. But that's going to be a great game. That, and I feel a little more safer picking Virginia Tech just because of Miami. One of their big struggles last year was that fallout toward the end of the year, and a lot of it was games on the road. To me, that's their big question is can they win the big game on the road? That's what I'm looking forward to, and they have plenty of opportunities from the neutral site at LSU. They go to Georgia Tech, who's going to be a fun game to watch, I think, and then also Virginia Tech. So those three games are three opportunities for them to shut my question up, for sure. I don't know about you.
Yeah, and we were talking about this before the show, too, is the other teams in that division, with the exception of probably Georgia Tech.
Right.
All those teams are probably equally talent-wise, and they're just going to split hairs. They're going to split games, and that could lead to some poor records. But, yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I have it shaken out different. I'm going to go with Miami. I think they had a good season last year. That game is in Blacksburg, the Miami Virginia Tech game. But I like for Miami to take that next step. Rozier, the quarterback, this is his second year starting. The defense, I'm high on. And I'm not completely I saw more from Miami last year than I saw from Virginia Tech, and just based on that and the players that are returning, I'm gonna give preseason again. Preface that. Preseason pick is going to be Miami. As the season shakes on, I reserve my right to be high on Virginia Tech and pick them.
Yeah, you normally do that anyway. So.
All right, so let's move on to ACC championship game prediction.
Right.
You just stated Clemson, Virginia Tech.
Right.
Who you got winning?
I'm gonna give it to the Hokies. I really like Josh Jackson, and I just think it's gonna be their year. Plus, I'm not sold on Kelly Bryant at quarterback for Clemson. And I think Virginia Tech will be more tested at that point in the year as well, which does matter in college football, I think. So with that, I'd say I'm gonna give the Hokies the win, and if they're sitting there undefeated, they might get in the playoff. We'll see.
Yeah,
So.
that's a good prediction. I mean, somebody's got to knock Clemson off their throne. I've got Clemson and Miami in the championship game. I'm sticking with Clemson. I mean, their defensive front is the best in college football. We could make a discussion just around that, but they have the most talent. They have the most returning starters. So I just don't think anybody's going to be able to move the ball or get a pass off against them. And it's not really going to matter. So I've got Clemson. Again, I reserve my right to change that depending on how the season shakes out. But preseason wise, that's who I've got. And I look for Clemson to go to the playoff for I guess it's the fourth straight year.
Something like that.
Yeah, either third or fourth straight year. Probably be a Clemson-Alabama matchup somewhere down the road.
Yeah.
We'll get more to on that when we preview the SEC.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's all that we had for the ACC.
Yep.
We hope you guys enjoyed that, and we look forward to doing some of the other conferences.
Yep. See you guys.
Bye.